Welcome to Unsigned 518. I'm here with Madigan, Linane, and I pronounced the name correctly, did I not?
Flawless.
Flawless.
Doesn't happen very often.
It doesn't, yeah. I mean, and it's easy to pronounce, but I feel like it's one of those names that if you fall out of cadence, it could be wrong.
Yes. I've got a lot of Linane, Linane. I've had all sorts of things written on coffee cups over the years.
Right. Well, anyway, I got it right,
yes.
And I'm super stoked about that. But, we have been in communication for like a couple weeks about you coming out to do this. And you're, if I'm not mistaken, from the great state of Vermont, correct?
I am. I'm local to the Mad River Valley area.
Oh, well, I don't know if you probably didn't know this about me, but I'm a Vermonter as well.
No way.
Yeah, I lived in
Vermont
for the first 32 years of my life.
That's incredible.
So, yeah. And then I still currently work in Vermont. I drive to Vermont from here.
I didn't realize
over by Stratton Mountain.
Yeah.
That's like where I grew up area and where I work now. But it was cool. I was like, yeah, Vermonter. Can't wait to connect because we got that. But, we're not here to talk about the great state of Vermont. We're here to talk about you and your music. So I think, to get the conversation started, I guess just kind of tell us how your relationship with music began.
Yeah. Really, it began probably with voice, where all throughout school, I was always in choir. Always loved the choir. There's that mandatory choir attendance in the second grade, but then I stuck with it.
I did as well.
Yeah,
I was in chorus all through school.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's where my voice part of things kind of began. And I also played piano. I took some piano lessons as a child. I was horrible at practicing. So over the years I've gotten better.
Because a lot of people start with the piano, and that comes up so much that they hated practicing it. Yeah, and
it's ironic that I choose to do this for a living, and I'm horrible at practicing. So I took piano lessons for a couple of years, but that gave me a nice foundation, I think, music theory wise, and also just getting a sense of chords and what I could build out of it. So I'm very grateful for those years in piano.
Do you still go back to piano? Because I noticed guitar is your instrument now.
Yeah.
Right? Do you write songs on the piano, or do you still dabble, or are you just guitar?
Usually to write, it's mainly guitar. But I do, when I incorporate, on some of my upcoming music, I'll have piano pieces in there, and that's kind of where the piano comes back into play for me, is where I do, piano in some of my songs, or little trills here and there, or licks, or chord progressions, just to sort of fill up the space of a song.
I mean,
and
piano isn't some people may not realize how much piano appears in contemporary music, shit that you wouldn't even think of, in a lot, even punk rock shit, Blink-182 songs have piano in almost every song. You hear it in there in almost every song.
There's such a foundational piece to piano, and just even if it's in the background, it just adds something.
You're right. It hits something even if you don't hear it or even recognize it.
Right.
If it's in there, it does something. Yeah.
Exactly. And then I picked up the guitar a little bit later, around probably 8 years old, and started guitar lessons. Was still pretty bad at practicing at this point, and kind of, but I was, I'm so thankful for my guitar teacher and all that she taught me. Her name's Joy. She was my first guitar teacher and taught me strumming patterns, chords, just all the foundations that have made my playing into what it is today.
Did you immediately feel that connection between the piano chords and the guitar chords, with sound?
A little bit, yeah. I definitely felt connection with rhythm is something I've been able to sort of, for some reason, that's been really easy for me to translate between instruments as rhythm. What was, so like strumming patterns came more naturally to me than like picking patterns or soloing, kind of like that. Right. But yeah, the chord structure definitely was more familiar to me after the piano, and just even talking generally about music, I could kind of follow along because, you know, at that point I had a little bit of a foundation in the theory. Right.
Even just like the, you know, every good boy deserves fudge.
Exactly.
Whatever. Like even just knowing that, like you kind of have that. Now, when you went from like, you know, piano to guitar, because like I went from percussion to guitar. I mean, and I didn't start playing guitar until I was like 18 or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I had such a hard time with like the hand work, you know, like the fretting hand, and like pressing everything down properly so that, you know, you're not hitting the strings that are supposed to be open and whatever.
Oh yeah.
And I just remember the cramps and the like the pain of going through it. Was that something that was hard as someone coming from piano, where you're like, shit, I can make these sounds on a piano and it doesn't hurt? Or were you just like, I'm powering through?
Well, it definitely at first it was pretty painful, and especially when we hit bar chords, I was like, what the hell are these things? And, you know, when you had to press all 6 strings down with one finger kind of thing. And so that part was generally hard for me. But I also grew up, I mean, I'm part Dutch, and so my like big hands and long fingers playing the piano and the guitar kind of helped in doing that, and like stretching along the fretboard or making big octave jumps on the piano or anything like that. So that kind of helped. And I also feel like it's a very strange thing, probably unique to a few people, but I'm a type 1 diabetic and have always, you know, checked my blood sugar on my left hand. So I kind of had calluses in a way already, and then just sort of built. So it was a little less. I was like,
touching a string, it's fine.
Yeah, like, it was like a weird thing that kind of made me already accustomed to pain on my left hand, I guess. But yeah, which is a weird thing, but
no, I love it. That's, you know, it's somehow extra tough. If you're like, you know, I mean, I guess that kind of hurt, but not compared to what I've already done to it, you know. But you know, when you first started, you know, piano lessons for the most part are you're learning other people's compositions.
Correct,
and you're learning scales and you're learning chords or whatever. But when you first picked up the guitar, were you immediately drawn to writing your own stuff, or did you kind of start with figure other people's songs out and then roll into your own songs?
I did start with other people's songs. I felt a little bit more freedom in learning guitar and being able to try the songs that I wanted to try. I think as a kid, I was so, you know, learning the piano, I was not trapped, but strongly encouraged to go towards, you know, Bach or, you know, Beethoven or the classical area of things, which are all beautiful compositions, of course. But, you know, I always gravitated towards the songwriters. You know, I said, can I do some Sarah Bareilles, or can I do some Adele, or that kind of thing. And so when I picked up guitar, my teacher was so open to what I wanted to try, and so I did try those things. You know, with my voice and my guitar, I started singing together and singing and playing together then. And then probably 1 or 2 years down the road, I started getting interested in writing like those songwriters. And I wrote my first song when I was 10.
Oh, wow.
And I said, Mom, Dad, I have a song that I wrote. And they went, oh boy. they said this might be a test of our parenting right here.
Just say it's good no matter what.
Yeah. And then they're like, and I played it for them and they go, wait a minute. that was pretty good for and so I started to just latch onto that. And my first song I wrote about, I was inspired by my neighbor who felt she had to be someone else around certain people and couldn't entirely be herself.
You were thinking these thoughts.
Yeah. It was
All right. That's some advanced thinking. At 10 years old, I was like, I really hope I get Castle Grayskull for Christmas this year. That was about the height of my intellect at 10. But yeah, all right.
But yeah, that was the type of deep thoughts that were rolling through my head at 10. But I felt like I was always observing others, and I was a very emotional person growing up, I think, and just connected with them. Yeah.
Like that's what it takes,
right?
A lot of people are like, yeah, I love music. Be like, are you super emotional? And they're like, no. And like, then you won't.
Yeah.
This isn't for you.
Yeah. That's right.
If you don't stop rehearsal to cry at least once,
seriously. Yeah. So I started sort of getting in touch with that emotional connection and trying to make, others feel something when I created that music. And I started to really get interested in it when I made my neighbor cry. I said, oh, this is great. Yeah. And then I played it for her and she goes, oh my God, that's exactly what's been happening and what I've been feeling. And I said, I want to be able to do that for people, or to connect on this level that music offers.
And being that your first song was like deeply like personal and like a real event and like real emotions tied to a real person who you could then share with and get that feedback from.
Yeah.
Is that something that you found writing songs for the masses that you can kind of still chase by, I don't know, almost like injecting ambiguity into it, like just putting out emotions and not necessarily having it be something, because that's what music is people get their own shit from it.
Yeah.
But like to have that start of like something deeply personal, specific, and be able to share it with that person. That it's almost like, all right, I peaked, I'm out. I'm gonna go try something else. But like, did you find that as you started writing songs that were just a little more general, was that easier or a little more difficult?
I think I was able to find a balance to still, I write a lot of songs about either people I observe or things that I experience myself. But so I try to inject some of that personal feeling that I have into those songs, even though they can be applied to other people. Right. So I was trying to find that balance where it's not like you mention some personal fact about your life or something
even
like
if
that.
There is like something personal or that means something direct and specific to you, like other people aren't going to know that.
Right.
So like they, then have the freedom to take it however they want.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, writing a song that can be, that is obviously about a certain thing, but can be taken in different ways by different people, I think is what the balance that I've strived to find in the music. So it's often I write about certain topics that I observe around me, experience myself, and I write about the topic and how, it's affected whoever I observe. And in that way, it's kind of, the topic is a general thing that touches a lot of people, but I still have that personal touch to it.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I think you brought along your guitar.
I did,
and we were going to have you play a couple of songs here live. Yeah. So I guess what's the first one that we're going to hear?
Yeah, the first one you'll hear, it's called "You for You." It's a song I wrote a few years back now. I observed some of my friends in my life came out to the people close to them, and weren't met with the sort of welcome that I thought that they deserved, and I wanted them to know really through this song that I was there for them, and then it became kind of a bigger song to just say to everybody, be prideful in who you are. Don't be afraid to love who you love, and wear it proudly. And so this is speaking to that pride.
Hell yeah. I love that. All right. Well, let's check out You for You, Madigan, Linane, live here in the Dazzle Den, and then we'll be right back.
I don't like that our world has become this way. I wonder what it would be like without all the hate. If only we took some time to ponder what we say. Think of all the lives we could have saved. Show the colors of your soul. Who you love should not be controlled. You are wonderful, so don't hide. Break the black and white to show your pride. Together we're better than them, you see. Let them watch as we move on. 'Cause nothing they say or do will prove who we are is wrong. Drown out the noise, I know it's hard to do. 'Cause all you need to hear is that I love you for you. You for you. Passing judgment on someone they have not met. Love is love. Which part did they not get? Not everything is black or white. Not everything is left or right. If everything was just up and down, we'd miss all of the other things around. Together we're
All right, that was You for You, Madigan, Linane, live here in the Dazzle Den. And now, Madigan, that song, obviously you performed live here, just you and a guitar, but you actually have an album coming out tomorrow, and that song is on the album. So I just think the timing is so crazy. But like as this episode airs, your new album will be out tomorrow. So you'll be able to hear. So I guess tell us about the album.
Yeah, no, it worked out. Couldn't have worked out better.
It literally could not have.
I'm so excited about this album. It's been a labor of love for some time now. I was working on it through school, but my attention was kind of divided, and so I finally got to finish this, and it's a real something I'm proud of, and something that it's probably the biggest collaboration I've done with different musicians, whether that be performers on the album, like instrumentalists or background vocalists, mixing and mastering. I've had people chant on this album. I worked with a rapper for the first time ever.
Nice.
That went to school with me. Her name is Poppy Payan. She's amazing, and worked with her for the first time on this album. So it was a lot of firsts, I think. And it was the first time I sort of spearheaded an album and kind of directed it.
So you
from my own,
controlled it from a creative aspect, like 100%, not like, obviously not that there's anything wrong with one way or the other, but a lot of the times musicians kind of have to free themselves to other people to help them create things. So it's different when you're conducting and directing, you know what I mean? You could be like, you do this. Ooh, I want you to do that.
Exactly.
And not having someone tell you no has got to be awesome. Because like in some projects, you might be like, hey, I want a rapper on this song. And someone might be like, nah, it's not going to work out. And you'd be like, okay.
Exactly. And it was because my first album was in 2019, and it was kind of my first experience ever recording my music, and I was new to the scene, and I had a great person, great producer, engineer, performer that I worked with in the studio, and he really taught me sort of the ropes of figuring out the studio and that kind of thing. And this time, I was the one heading the recording sessions, or getting the people to play all the fill all the parts, and I produced it myself.
Oh no shit!
And so that was
how did you learn to do that? How did you like the production side of things?
Yeah,
it's like that's a different, and anybody who's a musician knows that like the two don't go hand in hand.
Yeah,
like you could have a producer who knows jack shit about music.
Oh yeah,
other than the nerdy stuff.
Yeah,
and they'll be amazing. But how did you learn to do that?
Yeah, I will say it's not my writing and performing are the first thing that comes naturally to me, but I went to music school, so it kind of helped me learn a little bit of everything, kind of here and there. I went to Berkeley in Boston.
Oh, okay.
In Mass.
There you go. That's, yeah, the drummer in my band, his daughter is currently going there.
Oh, fantastic!
And like we talk about how us as old men are super jealous. We're just like, man, I want to go to Berkeley as a 19-year-old. What the hell? Like, that had to have been so cool.
It was very cool, and I majored in songwriting, and I also majored in business. So I kind of got both sides of the industry a little bit, and but in the songwriting portion, I was introduced to production and mixing and mastering and how to record everything properly, and in DAWs like Logic Pro, or you could study Ableton or Pro Tools, or whatever you liked to use. I used Logic Pro because I think it was the most songwriter friendly, at least to me it was. And so I started recording things in there, but really learned through all of my courses how to do all of that stuff. Really got, a ton of projects where I just had to produce a song and bring it to class. That's or, cool, wow. That kind of thing. And wow. Yeah.
So do you think, having that like in your quiver, in your talents, like being able to do all that, like, do you find that is freeing, or is it more restricting because you can't, does it take away your focus on the creative part, I guess, like the technical aspect of it,
Yeah, I don't think that it does. I mean, the creative part has always come first for me. I instead of going to the DAW right away, like going to Logic Pro and putting something down first, it's always been me and a guitar first. That's how it starts. Okay. And that's how I, grow my songs from there. And then I kind of head to the production aspect of things. And I've been so lucky to work with people who have mastered those things where, I feel like I have a great understanding of the writing and the performing, and it's the thing I love most. But then, other people who have mastered the production or the engineering or the mastering, right. I've been so grateful to have them jump in.
Because that's like where kind of like my stance is like, I was a radio producer, so like if it's right. a fucking 30-second commercial, like I got you, or but like the music side of it, just even for someone that's been doing this, it confuses the shit out of me. I'm like, there's so many, things, and I'm like, what are you even talking about? Like, I don't even know what you mean.
Yeah.
And so, as a performer and a songwriter or whatever, to be able to just kind of create and then bring someone in, that knows the other part is very nice. But like, I can see where it would be freeing to just be in control of it,
Yeah, it's like learning those things, learning the production and learning the mixing and mastering. I learned to a certain extent to where I was comfortable doing it by myself, but it wasn't my expertise.
Right.
So, that my, I guess, quote unquote, I don't feel I'm ever an expert, but my skills sort of lied primarily in the songwriting and the performing of it. But I still have that background in those other things, so right. I'm able to do it on my own, but I can still, reach out to the folks I know who
there's still more that you don't know.
Exactly.
Like you can get it to a certain level, but there's always still...
Right. And I know people who are like, who can zoom in and they know every inch of the production world or the mastering world.
Yeah, and that's one of my friends who's a producer, and that's like his thing. He's also an excellent musician, but like he knows shit about production that I like would never ever be able to comprehend. Yeah. And it's just such a different skill.
Right,
and
exactly.
sometimes, like people think, you just hit record and play. And it's like, no.
Oh,
like,
so much.
Like, definitely not.
Yeah.
But it is cool to have that.
Yeah.
To have all of that, And do you record the stuff you're set, like when you record the scratch tracks or the beginning of a song, are you doing it yourself at home or? Yeah.
So a lot of the scratch tracks I often just recorded in like my own bedroom or that kind of thing. Actually, all of the vocal takes of this upcoming album are in this little studio in my basement that I have. So that's where all that went. And most of the guitar work as well. And then some of the stuff that I had friends and fellow musicians play, the instrumental parts were sometimes in studios or even sending files back and forth because,
that's the day and age we're in.
We can do that. Like and that, so it's been a little bit of either meeting in the studio and setting them up and recording, or sending them the session and they can record in it and we can chat about it.
And so what's the name of the album?
It's called Rise.
And it comes out tomorrow, and I'm sure it'll be like on all the streaming.
Almost all the streaming platforms that you can find out there. And
are you going to do any physical copies?
I've debated. I've gone back and forth. I'll be honest.
Yeah, it's such a tricky thing.
I know. I feel like there's such a fluctuation in physical media now that I don't know where to fully commit. And
because it's like one of those things where like CDs are like the better audio quality, but who has a CD player anymore? Like I know more people with a record player, myself included. Like I have a record player, but I don't have I don't think I have a CD player anywhere in this house. Yeah. But like I bought, like for our last album, we did physical CDs, and we did it basically just like kind of as a it's a little keepsake for you.
Sure,
I'll autograph it and you can have a little keepsake. But I'm like, nobody's listening to these.
Yeah, there's or they're plugging them or putting them into a computer slot and downloading music off of it to be streamed.
And that's the thing. I don't even have a disk drive on my computer anymore. So I'm like, I don't know. But it's good. But like at the same time, vinyl is so goddamn expensive. Oh,
it's such an investment.
Who could afford to like?
Yeah,
I have $1,000 to invest in like 10 albums. Sure.
Yeah, and it's I have a bunch of people who. Or a handful of people who were like, "Oh, I'd buy a vinyl from you," and I said, "Well, I have to buy 100 at minimum," and I'm doing the math in my head. I'm like, "Okay, I'd have to sell them for this much, and then I'd have to sell enough of them to break even and not be broke," and then so. I was like,
it's tough. I don't know why I said 10 for $1,000.
No, that's the most. That's the gold platinum.
I meant it was like 100 for like $800. Whatever it was so expensive that I was like, no.
Yeah.
But the CDs were pretty cheap.
Right.
Just for everybody listening, if you want physical stuff, if you're not taking it too seriously and you don't want to like break the bank, like you can get. I think the smallest amount you can get was 25 CDs. Yeah. And it was like, a couple $100, $200 or something like that.
Yeah.
And that was doable, but vinyl.
The more doable option.
Even though vinyl would be cool, but because I do have a pretty solid collection of local vinyls.
Yeah.
It's like, I love it.
I would love to do vinyl maybe down the road a little bit. I think I'm still more comfortable with the CD section, and I made some stickers the other day. So going down this, everybody loves stickers.
Everybody loves stickers. Stickers are a great thing. So the album comes out tomorrow. You can find it everywhere, and we heard one song from it already, obviously the acoustic version. But can you do another song from the album while you're here?
Yeah, for sure.
Which one are you going to do?
So it's called We Rise. It's actually came out previously. I have it out on streaming platforms as a single, and so now it's part of this album. It's sort of a thematic album of social change, and so this song is out currently, but will be a part of this upcoming album. But it's about just standing up for justice and standing up for what's right, and doing right by others. This is We Rise.
All right, awesome. Well, let's check out We Rise live here in the Dazzle Den from Madigan, Linane, and then we'll be right back to wrap it up.
have to justify it. We will no longer be quiet under you. Out of the darkness we rise. My energy wears thin. Hours waste away. Exhaustion creeping in. Taking it day by day. Watching the walls break down. The foundation starts to crumble. No one likes the sound as the nation's starting to stumble. Out of the darkness we rise. In the distance you can hear the rallying cries. We don't have to justify it. We will no longer be quiet under you. Out of the darkness we rise. No time to hesitate. This is not a debate. It is time to raise our voices loud. No time to hesitate. This is not a debate. It is time to raise our voices loud. No time to hesitate. This is not a debate. It is time to raise our voices loud. No time to hesitate. This is not a debate. It is time to raise our voices. Out of the darkness we rise. In the distance you can hear the rallying cries. We don't have to justify it. We will no longer be quiet under you. Out of the darkness we rise.
All right, that was We Rise, Madigan, Linane, off the album that comes out tomorrow, just called Rise, right? The album is
Yeah,
just
just
Rise.
called Rise.
And it'll be out tomorrow. So if you're listening to this, the second it comes out, you have a few hours to wait. But anything after that, it's already out. So go check it out. But Madigan, I want to thank you so much for coming out and doing this. This was really fun. Had a great conversation. And before we go, I want to give you a chance to say your gratitudes. So the microphone is all yours.
Sweet. Well, first of all, thank you for having me in the
You're
Dazzle
welcome.
Den. It's been a blast. I just want to say, thank you to everybody who's had a part in this upcoming album, the album coming out tomorrow. It was such a collaborative, wonderful project that I've had, instrumentalists on. I had a co-writer on one of the songs. I worked with a rapper. I had people chanting on it. I had people helping to master it, and I just had so many wonderful people involved in this project, and it couldn't have been done without them. And thank you to my teachers growing up that accepted me for not practicing as much as I should have, and teaching me the foundations of what I know, and to the venues who have allowed me to play in any area I visited. I'm so grateful for them because I get to share my music with people, and that's what I love to do. So a big shout out to those businesses, and thank you to my family and my girlfriend and my friends for being just the biggest supporters in my life, always showing up to performances, always encouraging me and supporting me from the start. So thank you to all of you.
Awesome. All right. So she is Madigan Linane. I am Andy Scullin. This is Unsigned518. And I'll see you on the road. Unsigned518 is produced and hosted by me, Andy Scullin. New episodes are available every week wherever you stream podcasts. If you would like to help support the show, please like and subscribe wherever you are listening, or you could buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/unsigned518. If you would like to advertise on the show, send me an email at unsigned518@gmail.com. And to be a guest on the show, reach out to me through Instagram at Unsigned518. Take care of one another, and I'll see you next week.